All right, let's go ahead and get started. We let that Larry June start us off today, man. I don't know if, like I said, if y'all know who Larry June is, y'all need to go listen to that because that's that real good music. But I'm super excited to be here. I want to welcome everybody to our Wednesday show of the Make a Culture Move podcast, Coming of Age, hosted by yours truly, Mr. E Huff. I am the program coordinator here at Macam, and I am super blessed to work here. I always let y'all know this is the greatest place on earth to work for, and I'm super excited for the show we got going. So I'm gonna go through our quick rundown, then I'm gonna let these two lovely guests that I got to this is my right and beneath me, so it could be your left. I don't know how it's looking for you, but I'm gonna let them introduce themselves, but I'm gonna give us a quick rundown. So once again, you are at Coming of Age. This is a part of our Make a Culture Move series at Make a Chess Move, a nonprofit organization we work for here in the east side of Denver, except for G, who's supporting real big out in Kansas for us, you know what I'm saying? But first things first, I want you guys to head over to makeachessmove.org. That is our website. It's super dope. You can scroll to the bottom, and at the bottom, you will see opportunity to donate. Throw us some change if you can. If not, share it with your network and make sure that your network sees the awesome stuff that we got doing. Once again, shout out to my Instagram live people tapping in with me. Super excited to see y'all here. Got them above head. You want to tap into our Facebook page, Make a Chess Move. This is like the general overall page where you can find out everything that's going on at Macam with the podcast series, the Pushing Ponds, all the other dope stuff. So that's the overall page. To be more specific on the podcast, come to the Make a Culture Move Facebook podcast series. That's where you can check out my two awesome guests, and they will talk about the Make a Culture Move podcast and what they do and the awesome stuff they're involved in. Definitely want to check us out on Twitter, /Macam303. Check us out on Pinterest, as Unc likes to say, you know what I'm saying? And then last but certainly not least, you know what I'm saying? If you part of this east side stuff, you know what I mean? Or you from the east or somewhere and you just mess with the brand, you know what I'm saying? East first, you definitely want to tap into eastendvisions.com. That's my personal apparel brand where we are spreading a vision of love and what that looks like to love your community, love yourself, love your family, love everyone around you. So that's what East End Visions is all about. And you can also check us out on Instagram at EastEndVisions_apparel. So that's that. So before I even go into the topic again, I want to go ahead and let Big Mark and G introduce themselves and tell quick about the Make a Culture Move podcast series and what they do for Macam. So go ahead, Mark. Go ahead and kick us off. Let them know who you is.
Yes, sir. Like Big Bro said, my name is Mark Jonathan. Been here before, love this program, but like he said earlier, me and G are head of the Macam Make a Culture Move podcast, where we do just that. We're making a culture move. When we talk about everything from Black news to funny social trends to important topics, it's mostly just Black news in our community. G, did you want to build off of that?
Well, I'm G, like E Huff said. Love when he asked us to tap into the Coming of Age podcast. We do have our Make a Culture Move podcast on Mondays and Fridays. Like Mark said, we talk about everything. Mark didn't plug himself. He also does the Pushing Pond, you feel me? C-Bro on the chessboard. And then I also got the Make a Cleansing Move podcast that I do on Sundays where, I'm just talking about different ways for the community to heal and how we're going to heal in the community. And I always forget to plug myself. I just started doing this recently. But y'all, for those of you who do know, I sell jewelry, gems for queens, you feel me? And then I also just got purses in. So it's running up. It's running up. So get your jewelry and purses. But yeah, we are your Macam, family facilitators.
Dope. See, I got the pleasure of working with both of them, man. I'm telling you, me and G go way back, and Macam has built this special relationship between me and Mark. So I'm, like I say, I work for the greatest place in the world, and that's because of these two people. So I'm super blessed to have them in. As you see, we produce content around here. We're influencers. You know what I'm talking about? I was having a conversation with one of my roommates today, and not even my roommate, my aunt. And I was saying that there's no greater work than culture work. And, there's politics work, social work, all that good work. You know what I'm saying? I think the best work you can do is culture work and influencing the culture. And that is why we are Make a Culture Move podcast series. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. See how all that go together? We go with it over here. You know what I'm saying? So we are talking about a topic, I got challenged, and I don't know if bro's tapping in. I just want to say I love you. You know what I'm saying? We got into a little bit of a dispute just a second ago, but you my brother nonetheless, and we from these 30 zones, so you know how we handle stuff. But I actually had somebody challenge me and say this topic was watered down. And I find that this is so interesting because as G spoke to, and I'm sure she's going to speak to much more intensely, so I'm not going to steal her thunder, but this is a topic that, like, the cycle is what we're really starting to begin to see at our age range. You know what I'm saying? We're starting to understand now why you got that family member, that uncle, that auntie, that cousin that been with your ain't shit ass uncle or ain't shit ass auntie for 10, 15 years. We're starting to understand now why that is the case, because for some reason, leaving alone an ex is extremely difficult. And I feel like this is a really I'm not watered down topic, because I'm witnessing a lot of my friends, people that I'm not even associated with, allowing a connection that they're trying to hold on to that is literally ruining their lives. It is literally compromising their success. It's compromising their focus, their mental space, their energy. So once again, to the homie, I would really challenge you and anybody to say that they've never been in a position where they've been trying to hold on to a connection that wasn't benefiting them. So we go talk about that. So we go jump in from the nitty gritty. I'm gonna jump in and get real. You know what I'm saying, with the first question. You know what I'm saying, and I'm gonna bring up sex. All right. Now we know, we all grown here. We all know that sex makes things more complicated. That's already said. Like we got that figured out. But one thing that I've learned in my experience, and I'm not afraid to admit, is that the difference between unprotected sex and protected sex, it can make it more complicated, in my personal opinion, when it comes to getting rid of an ex. So I'm gonna throw this out. I want to start with the ladies, you know what I'm saying? Because I think that sex is such a man-dominant thing in our culture that we always lead the conversation, that we're always, you know, it's a man's pleasure first still in society. So G, asking that question to you, does unprotected sex or protected sex make it more complicated when you're leaving an ex alone? And also, this is an interactive show, so you can respond to this question in the comments, so I can throw it up in there. And be grown and don't be afraid, because we all grown here now.
Be grown, okay?
Be grown,
Absolutely. Unprotected sex versus protected sex makes relationships more complicated just in general. You know, unprotected sex is that flesh to flesh. It's pure flesh to flesh, which, you know, with condoms, you missing that flesh to flesh. You feel me? There's a third party action going on that kind of hinders the sex, and I use hinder intentionally. I use hinder intentionally. So yeah, it definitely makes a difference. You know, that unprotected sex, because the sex, regardless, protected, unprotected, you're creating a soul tie. But unprotected sex, that soul tie is that much more stronger, because it is flesh to flesh. That unprotected sex, you have that 50% chance that you may or may not get cummed inside. You know, so it's just it makes it that much more complicated. There's so much more that comes with unprotected sex than that comes with protected sex. Now, with protected sex, you have all the things, you know, it could break, all these, you know, but you have people who are allergic to latex, and, you know, all these things as to why, you know, they don't like using condoms. But I think that's why, you know, we trying to get to a point, we've been talking about it, like me and Mark been talking about it a lot. You know, the importance of marriage, right? You know, the importance of just being with one person. You with that one person, what do you need a condom for?
And that's a real question.
You wanted to create that soul tie.
And we go get into that. I don't want to jump too far ahead, because I really want to get y'all's ideas when it comes about this protected. So before protected versus unprotected sex. So before we get there, Mark, I want to hear your ideas real quick on what you think as a man's perspective of does it make it? Because I think sometimes we take out a lot of the affectionate and emotional side out of it. So I want to see what you think. I want to hear your ideas.
Well, that was actually a real good segue to what I was gonna say. G kind of laid out like on the basis of it, like literally the difference between unprotected and protected sex. In layman's terms, like it really is just better unprotected.
Mm-hmm.
Like just
Period.
putting
Fact.
it, hey, just point blank. But like she said as well, you feel me? It comes with a lot of potential consequences, like having a kid, diseases if you're, you know, hey, it happens. You
Yeah.
feel me? Yeah, exactly. Especially if you're doing it often with multiple people, like it happens. So I think unprotected sex definitely has more of does make it more complicated just simply because it feels better. You feel me? So
Mhm.
it's just gonna be harder to separate yourself from.
Mm-hmm. And it's just, I want to ask y'all this though. So, like, I think the reason why this question is, I really feel is important because it's a no-brainer, but it's not enforced. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that in our generation, like if I were to ask 10 of us this question right now, like, does having unprotected sex versus protected sex make a difference? All of us would say, okay, yeah, protected sex makes a difference. But how come when we're getting involved with young ladies, or young ladies involved with men, whatever the case may be, how come when we're getting involved with each other, we don't think about that before we begin to have this action? You know what I'm saying? How come we don't think about, okay, if I go in here without protection, there's a potential risk that it makes things a lot worse? Why don't we think about that?
Lust. Lust.
Yeah. Or
Lust is a drug, just like love is a drug, you know? Lust, like when you're so, because from the moment you lose your virginity, you see life through the lens of sex. You can see sex
That's
almost
facts.
anywhere, right?
right.
Like you can see it almost anywhere. And so then you get filled with that spirit of lust. And
Mhm.
lust is some like, and oftentimes we confuse lust and love. We
Mm-hmm.
confuse it so oftentimes that we can't even really tell the difference of when I'm just lusting or if I love somebody, because we intertwine them. But most of the time it's lust. And it's so hard to just turn off.
Mm-hmm. What you think about that, Mark? Like, okay, so for men, I think that is a real good point to bring up, because that lust is something I tell the homies all the time. If you can master your lust as an adult in general, but especially as a man, when a man masters his lust, he officially becomes dangerous. Like, he officially starts to have a certain amount of control over himself, because I mean, yeah, you hit the nail on the head when you said once you lose your virginity, you literally view the world through sex, like 100%. But like, why then? The question is, for like us men, why do we keep repeating the action? Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, Mark, tell me if you've been in a situation. You'll have your first interaction with a girl. Now, I'm vulnerable. I'm not afraid to say it. I have had my first interaction with a girl unprotected. My first sexual, you know what I'm saying, with a new girl. It has happened before where I didn't use a condom. I'll
Mm-hmm.
see that the emotions will get real, and instead of starting to put a condom on to create that barrier, I'll just keep having unprotected sex with her. I've been in that situation before. So,
No
like,
doubt.
understanding the consequences are gonna come. Understanding, like, it's gonna be some hell there's gonna be a price to pay with this. Why do we continue to do that even though? Like, why do we keep running into, because lust, I feel like that's not the only thing. We gotta come up with something outside of lust that just lust make us that blindly stupid.
Nah, I feel that. So, I mean, I feel like, let me first say, I feel like the use of the condom for a lot of people I know is simply to stop having kids,
Mm.
right? So, if a girl is on birth control, that's what I feel like really drives
Facts.
drives that for a man, because they're like, oh, she's on birth control. What would I use a condom for? Type of issue. You feel me? And I'm being vulnerable, which I know this platform allows. You feel me? I'm definitely that type of dude. If you say you're on birth control
Mm-hmm.
and you show me you're clean, because I just don't. You feel me? I ain't even
Yeah.
that type of dude. Then I'm not using.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Hey,
So
bro,
I feel
I'm gonna keep it a
like
rack too. I've been there too. You know what I'm saying?
trying to
I've been
tell
there
you.
too.
I'll try to tell you, but I feel like the most reasons, because if she's not on birth control and then you're not using a condom, you're both risking that complication and you're risking pregnancy. So I feel like more our culture would rather deal with them complications and just say, "Oh, shorty tripping, oh, that nigga tripping, whatever the third or whatever it may be," before they gonna deal with the pregnancies, if that makes sense.
Hey, no, and I want to pause this there because I feel like that's real spill Holyfield, because maybe we need to look at protection as more than just the physical, the physical consequences when it comes to babies and STDs. Protection, as we've learned as people who've been out here having sex, it gives you some also kind of emotional and spiritual barrier with another human being. And I don't know, I think that's just really crazy to think about. Like, why are we not viewing, number one? So these are two questions, I guess, coming off of this. Number one, how come we don't view protection as more than physical benefit? And then two, to speak to what Mark just said, how do I word this? Like, why do we not care about our own peace and sanity enough to value the tripping that it might bring to have unprotected sex as much as we value not having children? How come we don't value our own peace and serenity and a healthy relationship the same way?
Okay, so to the first part, I got the first part, right? Okay. Because I can tell you got the second. But to the first part, it's like a follow-up question on that. How do we define protection outside of sex? How do we define protection outside of sex? We see it as being physically protected. As when just at the word protect, we just see it as being, physically protected. Whereas, you hit the nose on that. It's more than just a physical protection that we have to think about. And I think, we talk about the things we have to unlearn and reteach. And we have to reteach that protection is being physically protected and being mentally protected and being emotionally protected and spiritually protected. And those are the things that we sometimes tend to downplay and forget, because when you think of abuse, physical is the first thing that comes to mind when you think of abuse. When sometimes it's not always physical abuse, it's spiritual, mental, emotional, all of those things. So it's like, how do we view being protected outside of just sex? Once we change how we view just looking at what being protected is, then we'll be able to translate that into what protective sex is.
Period. Facts. And real quick, before you go, Mark, just to remind everybody, you are at Coming of Age, Make a Culture Move podcast series, where our topic right now is leaving an ex alone. And we're talking about how unprotected sex versus protected sex makes that more complicated. So make sure you go and them shares up. Mark, go ahead.
Yeah, so she definitely tackled that first question, and I agree 100%. But speaking more on the second part, is, it's almost become part of the norm to be tripping over your partner. You feel me? So it's almost deemed like acceptable. So that's why I feel like we don't necessarily stray away from protecting ourselves against us tripping on one another, because it's become so normal. Whether it be from outside influences saying like, oh, this is how things are supposed to be, meaning like music, older influences, that type of deal. So I just feel like that's why we don't really hold us tripping on one another on a pedestal, because to us it seems like it's not even that deep.
Because we don't see sane relationships.
Absolutely.
We don't see healthy relationships. We see insane. We see insane relationships, and we see toxic relationships. Those are the relationships that we see coming up. Those are relationships that our friends are in, that, you feel me, maybe our parents came from, or our cousins, uncle, you feel me? We see more toxic relationships and insane relationships than we do sane and healthy relationships. So like Mark's saying, it's just become like the norm to be caught up in that toxic relationship.
Exactly. And to add on, if I could,
please go ahead. Please.
I thought you was frozen. I thought I was tripping. But we pedestalize those toxic relationships over the healthy ones. You feel me? Initially, like I could say, as I've gotten older, I'm definitely starting to value more of that healthy side. But in my high school years, like I almost pedestalized toxicity
Yeah.
because everything that came with it, whether it be good sex, good times, and then arguing, and then we having makeup sex, like that was pedestalized. But yeah, if that makes sense, we just pedestalized toxicity over healthy.
And that's real. And I think, I don't know, man, I think we really uncovered some really deep stuff when it comes to protection usage. Like, I think that we really have got to start understanding as young people, man, like this whole idea of putting on a condom is so much deeper and so much more profound than just protecting from a baby or protecting from STDs. And the reason why, you know, I get into this, just as a quick like disclaimer on my note, is like, I get a little bit of flack talking about this being a spiritual believer, especially being a Christian. And people talk like, well, why don't you just preach abstinence? Why don't you just preach not having sex? Now, I may personally try to live that to my best ability in my life, but I'm much more concerned about putting people in a healthier position that hopefully they can think healthier to maybe they can welcome my faith or faith of their own choosing. But I prioritize people's well-being first because that's what I watch Jesus do. Jesus prioritized people's well-being first. And by doing that, I understand the reality of people are going to have sex whether I tell them not to do it or not. Whether Mark tells them not to, G tells them not to, whether we could get up here and preach for 10 billion years on why you should wait until you're married to have sex. But the reality is we may not always live by it, and we know our viewers ain't always living by it. But with the reality, how do you soften some of the blow? And I think that's what a lot of this age range is about, is like, you're going to mess up between 18 to 30, 18 to, more past that, but especially in this age range. How are you going to mitigate the blow, the consequences? How are you going to learn? How are you going to be wiser? And I think really focusing on like, put that condom on, not only, and young ladies, make him put that a condom on, not only to keep you from the STDs and the babies, but like that soul connection, that, you know what I mean? Them real spiritual ties is real deep. So I think we covered that topic real good. I want to get us rolling. I know this is one that is plaguing a lot of y'all, is the relationship with the family's ex. And how does that affect the split? So we go past, it seemed like G ready to jump on this one too, so we can pass it to her. Because I know some of y'all, I get so pissed when I hear y'all going through something like, but his mama, and I love his little brother. And like, they was doing just fine. They was doing fine just before you ever came around. So go ahead and speak to that though, G. What's the challenge, especially for the young ladies? Because I see it more on girls than I see it on the fellas. So go ahead and speak to it.
Okay, so for me, right? Being a woman, for me, it's like, I hate asking those, being a woman, or answering those being a woman type of questions, because I don't have the normal woman mentality, right? I think more like a dude. But your ex's family ain't your family. Your partner's family is not your family. You feel me? Unless y'all get married and you combine families. Even having a baby doesn't combine your families. So for me, if it's fuck your ex, it needs to be fuck they family. If that's how you feel. If you and your ex ended on cool terms, then you could be on cool terms with the family too, But to me, that's how it is. Like when my last ex, I've been single for so long. My last ex, when we broke up, I was cool, and the way it happened, it was bad. So I was like, "Fuck you and your family." Period. That's how I feel when it comes down to it. And so at our graduation, our high school graduation, his mom tried to speak to me. I walked right past her. Call it disrespectful or however you want to, but how I felt about it, it was that you knew your son was out here doing me dirty, and I'm out your house all the time, and you're just smiling up in my face. Their family is not your family. Their siblings are not your siblings, period. And that's really just how it goes. Now, with that being said, there are some situations, like my older brother has a plethora of exes. Okay. And there's some females who, still to this day, I call sitting, not even some. There was one who was my favorite ex, who he hates with his soul. but she never ever gave me a reason to
Dislike her.
dislike her ever.
Yeah.
She's always treated me cool. Even after the breakup and he cussed her out and did her, you feel me? However it happened, she still showed me so much love. It was just hard for me to turn that off on her. It was just kind of hard to turn it off. But at the end of the day, their family is not your family. Their family is not your family. And with dudes, I need females to understand this wholeheartedly. Please, females, hear me when I say this. They gonna rock with whoever he bring around.
Like just real quick, like Ray Don just said right here, they go smile on whoever's face he brings around. And that's what is always, this is why I'm not a dog. So for all the ladies that might like me out here tapping in, this is why I'm not a dog. My mama did not play that shit. Like when I was dating a girl in high school, if I had brought another girl to my mama's doorstep, she would have slapped the hell out of me. Like even as a grown man, like I'm single. You know what I'm saying? I'm not attached to nobody right now. But if my mom sees me around one too much and it looks like we taking it serious, my mom go internalize like, okay, that's his girl. That's the one who we want to spend all the time with. He out here pretending. Let me bring another woman around. I'm a hoe. I'm a slut. like my mom will get raw, like not because my mom's really big.
See,
on
but
that,
you
like,
care about those opinions from your mom. You feel me? I was giving those same, remarks to my brother. Didn't really care how the thing. My older brother, he used to ask me, "Did I know such and such? Do I know wooty woo? Do I know boom boom boom?" And every female he would say, "Do I know?" I would say, "I don't like." One, because I just don't want you to keep bringing women around, for one, and for two, it's like the women you are bringing around, when I try to show you like we I don't want to put nobody on blast.
Don't put nobody on blast.
I'm not going to put nobody on blast.
Denver, people like to pull up on you.
There was this girl, y'all, beautiful chocolate, fine sister that we went to church with. And just because you go to church with somebody don't mean they're a church person, don't mean they're a good person, right? You feel me? Don't mean they ain't out here in the streets doing street stuff. You feel me? But that's how he saw her. And well, he was only attracted to the big booties or the big boobs. That's all he saw. He didn't care. That was his first baby mom, not the cutest thing, but she had a big booty. That's what he was attracted to. That's what he saw. That's all he cared about. So you have to care about more. You have to care about more. So when he showed us that he didn't give a damn about the type of women he was bringing around, I stopped giving a damn about having an opinion.
Okay.
About the type of women he bring around. You're gonna bring around whoever. I'm begging you to look at the women in your family. Do the females you're bringing around match? Are they gonna be able to sit at the same table with us and keep up with our conversation? No, they don't be.
Well, okay, so I mean that's fair though, but okay, so I feel where you're coming from, G, and you have a very like unique perspective. But what about you, Mark? Like, as a man, how do you feel? I gotta hear your perspective because I feel where you're coming from. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I'm kind of like you, E Huff. I mean, my parents are real old school. You feel me? Like they're older than a lot of parents, like around my friends. So like every time I date a girl, like, and let it be 3 dates, now they want to meet her and this type of stuff. And I'm just like, well, it ain't even that deep. And the reason why I don't try to let it get to that level is because I know how I am personally. Like, like I don't know, I notice red flags and then I won't say nothing about them. I'll just start to move different.
Yeah.
Like that's just, and I could be dating one girl, say we go on 3 days, and then talk to another girl. Now they asking questions like, "Oh, where's so and so? Why you haven't?" Bro, I try not to do it. None of that, bro. Yeah. I don't want to meet people's parents. I'm just not there yet.
Yeah, and that's how I'm rocking right now. Is like because I think that when it comes to the family and Radon, don't gas me like that. Don't gas me like that, Radon. Don't gas me like that. But what I'm saying is like I've been in a relationship, like it makes it rough because when you really do like their parents, it is pretty crappy. Like the last relationship I was in, I really liked her dad. Like her dad was a stand-up man of God. He had real money. Like I'm talking about real money, y'all. And it was like he didn't get it from hustling no drugs. He got it from using his hands and working hard. So like he was personally a man that I said, okay, if I'm gonna have a father-in-law, this is what I want my father-in-law to be like. So to speak to your point, Mark, I'm on that tip where it's just like, you know what? I'm not gonna meet your mama, your daddy, anybody until I know we really locked in, because it makes it so much more complicated. And when we talk about family, the one family member in this age range that makes it complicated is the kids. Is that once you get plugged in with them kids, and that's what makes it so crazy, because it's like once you start getting in this age range, young ladies from, they got children. A lot of y'all was goosing early. You feel me? We're one of the 3 people in our age range that ain't got no kids. So that's just the reality. But I'm not going to judge. I would never judge, never have, never will judge a woman for saying like, hey, if we are going to start getting more involved, you go have to see, I got to see if you're a fit for my child, because I don't want to get down the road and then come find out you're a dog shit parent. So I can't blame no young lady for that. But that's what makes it real hard, is because it's like you'll get plugged in with the kid, and then things start going rocky with the relationship. And then you got to remember like, damn, but I already made, like me and little Shorty already done plugged in. But that's one complication. Some Tay said, LOL, yeah, because some family believe it right is right and wrong is wrong. Family has their differences too. Like, I don't know. Would you talked about red flags. Okay.
Right.
I'm gonna ask you a question. If you're in a relationship with a young lady and you're starting to notice that their family has that ride or die, right or wrong mentality, how does that affect how you feel about their family? Like if you see their family is like, no matter what she does, she can't do no wrong to me, so I'm always have her back, are you still gonna keep rocking with her the same?
Okay, so I feel like that come with some variables. If they have her back in public but correct her in private, that's one different thing. But if they just rocking with her, she could be dead wrong, then they gonna rock in public, private, whatever the case may be. No, I can't really rock with that, because wrong is wrong. Yeah. You feel me? I might defend you in public, but I wouldn't be a person that you care about, that I care about, if I weren't gonna like, hey, like you kind of a little fucked up for that, right?
Yeah.
Like it don't even gotta be nothing major, but you can't let somebody continue to stay on that wrong path. So nah, I couldn't rock with that personally.
I feel like right now I just asked a crazy question we got to answer. But how much does that matter to you? Like, what if you love the girl and can't stand her parents or anything they're about? Is that a deal breaker? So let's talk about that. Like, let's say you broke up with a girl because the relationship with the family is so bad. Should that be grounds to break up?
Yeah, bro. I dated a Hispanic lady, bro, and her parents.
Oh, yeah. Get in your bag, boy. Get in your bag. Tell the story.
I'm trying to tell you, her parents was like super racist towards black people, like 100. And I really like Shorty, but it's like I'm very respectful, especially, and I could code switch very easily. So, I walk into their family, hey, can I take your daughter on a date? Doing it old school. Like I came to her father, can I take your daughter on a date type of stuff? And he looked at me up and down, bro. True story, bro. Looked at me up and down and said something in Spanish. And then it took her mother's talking about, yeah, you can go ahead. And then I asked her later, like, what did your dad say? And then she wouldn't even tell me. And I'm like, bruh, and I speak like a little bit of Spanish. I ain't fluent. Like I know.
I got a little bit in me.
You feel me? But nah, bro. Like I feel like.
Okay, if you don't mind me asking, then was she entrenched in that thinking as well, or was she like, I don't fuck with what my family's about. I don't believe in none of that. Like I'm not in none of that. I will, what I'm saying, I will always stand up for you. I will always, all of that. Was she like that?
Yeah, she was like that. She was like that 100%, bro. But it's just like.
But it was just too much.
Like if I were to ever marry you, like what would it? And then what would your parents think of our children? Like they gonna be half black as well.
Like, and I think it's deeper than race, bro. Like it's to the viewers, like that's we're talking about a specific topic of racism, but like. One thing my aunt always preached to me as a young child about marriage, and I got put on game on some deep shit early, was that you marry into that family a lot. You marry into that family. So do not think about that girl solo dolo. Because I had a cousin who may or may not have married the correct the correct person at the time. And my aunt was really big on that. Like, yo, you are marrying into that family. So like, I don't think people take that time to consider like, yo, and not even just marry, having a baby with, like, even for y'all who are, you know what I'm saying, not even thinking about marriage, may not be your thing, but you still want to procreate. You've got to think about the person's family who you are having a child with, because his mama's gonna be the babysitter, his aunties, everybody else, they gonna be coming to the games, they're gonna have an influence over your child's
And
life
when people
and the
don't like
relationship.
you, they subliminally show it towards your kids. When people do not like you, they subliminally show it towards your kids. And either, and it's sometimes not even subliminally, right? You feel me? It's out in the open. But when people don't like you, it shows through the way that they treat your kids.
That's for real. So think about that. Yeah, when y'all, and to speak to that also as well, y'all stand in these toxic relationships with these people and not realizing, to y'all's children's effect, like, they family is making your child's life hell. And that's why I've never bought the argument. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't have a child with a woman, but I've never bought the argument with none of the homies that be like, cause you don't understand, like, I got a baby with her, but you're allowing your child to grow up in an unhealthy environment. So like, that's not a justification for you trying to make something work with somebody, when if they family don't like you or whatever the toxic case may be. How is it more beneficial to keep your child in a toxic situation? I will never understand that when it comes to relationships, but we'll have to add that for another conversation. So I'm gonna skip ahead again, and one I want to make sure we got enough time to talk about. Should your ex's relationship with someone dictate if you talk to them? Meaning, if your ex is friends, acquaintances, like, if you're trying to talk to a new person, then what relationship can they have with that new person, or with your ex? I mean, that makes it appropriate for you to talk to them, or do that? Is there any level?
Re-ask this. Hold on. Re-ask it. Re-ask
okay,
it.
So I'm gonna ask this again. I'm gonna build a scenario, right? I'll build a scenario. You just met Tyler, all right? Just to say, dude's name is Tyler. All right, your ex's name is Bobby. I hope you ain't dating nobody named Bobby out here. All right, your ex's name is Bobby.
No. Okay.
Tyler and Bobby are homies. You didn't know that. You didn't already start digging. Gee, you didn't already start digging Tyler. You didn't already start feeling Tyler. But then one day you see in Tyler's phone, he's like, yeah, I'm about to go kick it with my nigga Bobby. And then your eyes get big. Should you leave Tyler alone?
What does Bobby and Tyler's relationship have to do with me and Tyler's relationship? I didn't know that.
But they boys.
Are they brothers? Are they related? Do they share blood?
They from the sandbox. They from the sandbox. They ran the avenues together. They got put on the hood together.
Okay. All right. So prior to, because life throws situations at you, and life throws experience at you where, certain things happen. No, can't go. Wait, what'd you say? Bring that comment back. No, can't go. Tyler should be like, nah, that's code. So that's not a bro code thing. That's not a bro code thing. You feel me? And I respect that. Okay. Because life will throw situations at you that will shift your thinking on certain things. My answer to this question has been shifted throughout the years. Okay. Because I have a friend that I grew up, well, we're not friends no more, but because, I have an old friend that we grew up together. I mean, from the sandbox, you feel me? Like, used to, I damn near lived with them for a period of time in my life. You feel me? And then when she disclosed to me that she fucked my ex, and this was the ex that you feel me, like, was in love with this dude. I was so invested into him 100%. And those of you who know me, I never invest 100%. I don't even believe in investing 100%, but I invested into this dude 100%. And then you feel me? She tells me that they fucking, this was after we had broke up, maybe a year and a half later. Sandbox or not, sandbox or not, I personally, if your homeboy makes me happier than you ever could, then you even have the potential to do, then I'm sorry if your feelings is hurt, but he makes me way happier. Now, on a bro code standpoint,
That's a different story. So we're not even gonna get it. Yeah, that's a different.
Like on a bro talk standpoint, being different. A female in that situation, if Tyler were to say, "That's bro, I can't mess with you no more because that's bro," I'm gonna respect it. I'm not gonna be mad about it. I'm gonna leave it alone and respect it. That's cool. It is what it is. That's fine because y'all got another homeboy that's not gonna give a damn. So,
hey, hold on, G. I'm gonna pause you because, and Mark, I'm gonna get to you, but this is real quick for the viewers. This is a real disconnect when it comes between black men and black women. This is a real disconnect because before Mark even gets my only spill, the only thing I'm gonna say about this is women don't act the same way. I done seen women be cool with their homegirl after they done had another baby by the same baby daddy. Like I've seen girls be really locked in and be really cool. Niggas, nah, we don't do that. Like if we really love that girl, like you know what I'm saying, even if we was a dog, even if we dogged her, if we really love that girl,
dudes love harder, and females might be mad at me when I say this, but dudes love harder than women do. Period. Dude, once they fall in love, they're in that deep contrite of being in love with a woman. That's their possession. She belongs to him.
Okay, so Mark, what you think? Mark, how do you act? How would you act in the situation if it was Selena and Marquisha? Would you be messing with Selena?
So honestly, I mean, I've been in this situation where I mess with a girl and then mess with her friend like months to a year later.
Is Mark
it ain't even that, bro? Because I've only been in like honestly 3 relationships my whole life. Like the rest of it just been chilling. And to that point, I'd probably never date a girl named Marquisha personally. It's too close to my name. Boom. But yeah, to your point. And then just on the other side of that coin, like as your bro, you know who like your bro really likes.
Facts.
So like you should never even put yourself in the situation to go and mess with them. You feel me? That's the only reason why I'm like,
okay, but hold on, I'm gonna pause this though. But what about degree of exes? Because I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so this is well, I'm really glad we're talking about this, right?
Right.
I got my ex from high school. We all like, if y'all know who she is, cool. You know what I'm saying? That's my dog. I love her. I'm locked in. If one of my homies mess with her right now, I would not give a damn. Because I understand that when I was like in my youth, like, you know what I'm saying? Even though I was locked in and I was in love with her, because the line gets blurry. Because like you said, Mark, like the homies know who really loves her. But I love that girl in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like I love that girl when I was
love now.
But even then, like even maybe my beginning relationships, like okay, even let's just say my first girlfriend when I went to college, I wouldn't trip right now if I called one of the homies and they was like, "Hey, me and her, whoopty whoop." I'd be like, "Okay, I'm not tripping," but that's because I love that so long ago. You know what I'm saying? Like that was so long ago. You feel me? So like us as men or as women. Should we judge, like, does time play a role in that? Because I can't, like, let's just say right now, I'm 24. Let's say if I got in a relationship, or not even my last relationship, just this last one when I was 23, all right? If I'm 30, married, got some whole other stuff going on, and then one of my homeboys who's 30 meets that girl while she's 30 and they get together, should I feel some type of way?
No.
Bruh, what? Okay, listen, I only had one girl that I've loved before, bro. And if my homies were to mess with them, bro, I'd be pressed. I'm gonna keep it a whole buck.
Okay, but do you think you're gonna feel that way as years keep continuing?
Probably not.
So that's how I look at it. And you know what I'm saying? And fellas, like I would love to hear really more so y'all comment, because we know the ladies don't really, they let things go a little bit faster. And I'm seeing like bro say facts, you know what I'm saying? Something that Sierra just said, that's just real. The box here in Denver, it makes things a lot more complicated because, you know, I don't think I got any viewers outside the box, but there's only 9% of us color folk out here, you know what I'm saying? So we get around easily. There's only a couple corners to bend out here in Denver, but one thing she said, all these niggas in the world, and you want my friend to make you.
I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, I think so. That levels of exes though that she spoke to, that's true too. Because you feel me, I have exes where if I had a homegirl hit me like, "Hey, sis," you feel me, booty boo hit me up, and there's, I'm not gonna care. But it's level of exes, and for me, like my girlfriends, they know when I'm invested.
Yeah,
they know when I'm invested. You feel me?
Yeah,
I
Right.
might be considered the P of the group.
Okay, but let me ask you this, all right? Because this is where you ladies, this is specifically a question for you ladies, because I know I'm thinking of a young lady who asked me this a couple weeks ago. What if you know, because this is what us fellas get into, right? You'll see your homeboy messing around with a girl for a long period of time, and cuz will swear he loves her, right? He'll be like, yeah, cuz I love her, right? But wait a second, though. Hold on. You used to dog her. You used to cheat on her. You used to mess with her friends. You used to do her like a rat. So why, if you treated her like that, you saying you love her, but your actions acted upon that way, you loved her, but you didn't act like it. So why should I not be able to mess with her when your actions didn't meet your words?
That's what I was saying. Your homeboy loves me more than you ever could. Your homeboy shows me a level of respect, maturity, love that you didn't have the capacity.
No, but what if he does? See, this is the thing is, what if he does now? See, we're getting a little bit too deep into the relationship. We're talking, let's just talk at the grounds of, we just having sex, all right? Let's not even say the relationship, because I will say, to get in a relationship with your homeboy's ex, that's a little odd. That is a little, that might shift my opinion. But we're just gonna talk about the basis of just sexual connection. If you watched your homeboy dog her, should you still feel the same obligation to not want to mess with her? What you think, Mark? Because I think men get put in that situation a lot where we'll may want to talk to the homie's ex and he used to dog her, but but bro swears he loves her.
Nah, I mean, I've literally been in that situation. You feel me? For the sake of not name dropping, but it's like, dang, like, and then he cheated on her or whatever, and you ask her like, so is this just another girl? And then they be like, nah, like that's my shorty for real, and then you just be like, but
how? You'd be like, how, bro? How?
Man, so I don't know. Just for the sake of keeping the relationship that I care about, which is between me and my homie, I just leave it all alone, because I'm like, I don't need you tripping on me over a girl that you claim you love.
And that
changes it though with the just having sex, because the dating just having sex is different, right? In a group of friends, like in that circle group of friends, me as a woman, I'm not just having sex. I will have my woman, but I also, as a woman, like when I deal with a dude, I don't even want to hang out with you and your friends. I want to hang out with you and your homies. And I personally believe that any dude who really do love his woman shouldn't let his woman hang out with him and his homies.
And G, that's the real G.
And as a woman to your man, you shouldn't even be comfortable hanging around his homies. If y'all are living together and one of his homies stop by the crib and he's not there, tell that homie to come back when he get there. You shouldn't just be comfortable and just chilling with your dude's homies, or your dude just comfortable chilling with your homegirls.
Okay, but hold on real quick. Sierra brings up something. She says men do not care when they are just having sex. They will pass that girl to 3 homies and a homegirl. Just go think she finding the right friend to make her happy. I'm gonna add that comment with what Nelly said. But why would you want to have sex with a girl after your bro? I just think it depends on how close you are and your bro. So pause. What if I see something in you that nigga didn't? Hold on, though. What if I see something in you that nigga didn't? And that's what I've always been baffled when it comes to some of the young ladies, because it's like, all right, number one, you're tripping for letting 3 of us hit, but we're not even gonna talk about that. You feel me? But what if I see something in you? And this is the thing at the age we're getting into, because a lot of our uncles and a lot of our, daddies and stuff, no disrespect to nobody's mama, but some of our mamas was the fast ones. It's just the honest to God truth. And some of our daddies decided to settle down and be with the fast one. All right. But your daddy obviously saw something in your mama. So why can't I say that I saw something in you that he didn't? So
okay, look, and I want to speak to what Mark said earlier. What did you say?
I don't know.
Dealing with how when sometimes with families, back to the families, you feel me? With families, when a girl is in that ride or die type of family, sometimes she do need that outsourced, unbiased source, and usually it has to be a man saying, calling her out on her shit. You're spoiled, you're a brat, you always think you're right when you're not. You have poor community. Like sometimes women who do grow up in that situation, because like my family, we a ride or die family, but they gonna tell me when I'm wrong. Trust me, if you know my family, you know. Okay, they gonna let me know when I'm wrong, but I still was spoiled. I was the only girl for 20 years. So I was spoiled. So it was my way or the highway. Hit high 70 and go. It'll take you far. Okay. it'll take you far. Okay. That's how, and it took me. I had a dude who he straight up told me, y'all, my first boyfriend when I was in 5th grade. And this is still a friend of mine to this day. Like we're still friends. But he told me, he was like, you a brat. And he was, you a brat. He was like, because if it's not about you, you don't want to talk about it. If it's not about you, you don't want to hear about it. If it's not about you, you don't want to deal with it. It's not always about you, Jamaria. Sometimes you got to take other people's consideration or other people's feelings into consideration. And that kind of just slapped me in the face, because I was like, whoa. He was like, because you don't never ask me how's my day, how I'm doing, but I'm always asking you. He was like, you gotta reciprocate. And growing up spoiled, right? It was all about me. So sometimes it does take for a man to really break that down to a woman. And a real woman who wants to grow is going to accept it. She's going to accept it. Period. She's going to accept it, because real women understand that it takes a man to lead.
And I don't know. I don't think, I just think that leadership may come out of somebody who you least expect. I want to spend our last couple minutes on this last question, and this might end up go a little bit longer. Do you need to block your ex's social media after? So I made this an incredibly specific answer, but I actually mean it a lot more broad. Is that how much interaction can you really have with the ex to really, if you want to be done with them? That's what I'm asking. Like, because we always be pretending like, oh, I'm done with so-and-so. I'm done with this. I'm done. I don't want to mess with him or her. We want to do that. But we actually make decisions that make it more difficult by continuing to text, continuing to be on their social media. So how do you actually like disconnect from an ex and staying away from their social? Is that something you need to do? Because me, I'm going to go first and say, I'll block the hell out of my ex, like my cousin said. Maybe it's just in our family. Like, once I'm done with you, if I see you, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, we talk about vulnerable, like, I'm a hater nigga on my exes. Like, I don't want to, like, once we break up, I don't want to see you doing good. I don't want to see you doing bad. Don't get me wrong. I don't want you to die. I don't want you to get sick. I don't want you to get killed or none of that. I just don't want to see you doing good. And that doesn't mean I don't want you to do good. I just don't want to. I don't want to see it. Like, I would literally close my eyes and block and get the hell away from it, because that's just, it hurts too bad. Like, even if, and maybe that's just because of some of my pride, but like for y'all, are y'all one of those people that like, man, I got to completely detach, or you can still kind of keep, you know what I'm saying, getting an entanglement
first?
Okay, so I feel like it depends on a couple things. One, how y'all ended, and then y'all relationships beforehand. You feel me? Because I have a recent ex. Like, we was pretty good friends beforehand. It ended not how I expected it to, and now she's just funny when I see her, like, on my social media, because I know she like G. She got, let me not expose you. She not like G. Let me Time that out. But she got a whole roster on her. You feel me? My ex has a whole roster. And she's one of the ones that will let it be known that she has a whole roster. So now it's just funny to me. Like, she wanted me to run the race with them niggas. I told her my legs is tired. And then
I don't got it. I don't got the
I don't got
energy.
the energy for it. But yeah. But like, if it's to the point where you're prideful or whatever, and you know the only way to stop talking to them is to not see more of them, whether it be on social media, see them in person, whatever the case may be, then block them. But for me, I see it. It's funny to me. I think you can't do better than me.
It took me a minute as a man to get there, but man, I'm still blocking. I'm trying to get that. But what's up with you, G? What the ladies thinking?
Okay, so for me, when it comes to, like, you know, the phone number, I'm gonna delete your number. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna delete your number. I'm not gonna block you. But if you call me, you're gonna get that. Who is this? And for most people, it's a slap in the face. Like, who is this? What do you mean you don't know who this is? So some people, that's enough for them, right? It's like, okay, cool. Now when it comes to social media, though, I don't have not an ex blocked, and it's not because it's not that I don't want to see them, right? So I want them to see that I'm doing good. Yeah. I want them to see that I'm on top. I want them to see that I'm smiling and still, you feel me, living my best life. Like one of my exes and my twin brother are real good friends. And I don't want to say I hate this man, but if he was on fire, I would spit right next to him.
Oh,
you
gosh.
know? So it's like, you know, I don't follow him on anything. I don't have him on anything, but he's not blocked. He watches my Snapchat stories faithfully. You know, like faithfully, he's watching them. But I don't have him blocked on anything, and but I do have him deleted. You feel me? Except for Snapchat, because I like that he faithfully watches my stories and sees that I'm doing great without you. But you know, for me, I just blocking. It depends on how we ended. How bad did we end off that bad? Where I just don't want to see you anymore, and I don't want you to see me. I don't want no communication at all between me and you. But I also feel like when you block somebody, that person won, and I don't want nobody to ever feel like they have the power over me because I blocked them, and that they got to me that bad. Where it's like, no, you didn't get to me like that. You really didn't get to me like that. And if ever we do need to have a conversation about something, because sometimes when you end a relationship, you didn't get that closure, but it wasn't time for that closure because you were still hurt. So you gotta have that space, that separation, and then at some point you're at a point where it's like, cool, I am over you, but I need to know, why did this happen the way that it did? Why did we turn and
see, See,
some people don't, but some people don't. Their closure is, you feel me, we're done, we're cool, we're good.
See, okay, so if my viewers got a couple minutes, we can go a couple minutes longer, because I feel like that's something that needs to get hit real fast. I do not believe in that closure shit. Like, I personally, now this is my thing is, and I want to bring in something that Lil Bro said, is block them if you think having them on social media is going to make you text them or try to contact them again. But I think it depends on the person you are and how it ends. Like, I just don't understand how, like, closure to me is just still an excuse to just want to still have a connection. And I don't know how anyone, because when I hear closure, that means that we agreed to crush whatever the issue is. So if we agreed to crush whatever the issue is, that's going to give me energy to want the relationship again, because whatever the issue is what blocked us from wanting to be together. So it's like, I see closure as a trap. Like, if you go into closure, it makes you forget the whole reason why you never wanted to be with this person. And where you got to that point why you didn't want to be with this person. So I just have always found that, like, really, really interesting, that whole idea of closure. Like,
see, I see closure differently. You know, I see closure differently. I see it as, because for me, I feel like you only need closure when there's not a clear understanding as to what happened. You're just not sure as to what the hell happened. Like, I don't know what the hell. I thought we were doing good. Even we were doing good. We were on a good track, and then now all of a sudden we're broke up. and we don't like each other, we can't stand it. Like I see closure as I just need to have an understanding as to what happened. And for me, you know, I'm a closure type of person with friendships, relationships. I just need to know where did it go wrong, so that with my next relationship, I can make sure it doesn't go wrong the same way.
Mm.
And also, you know, for me, it doesn't make me want to rekindle. It makes me okay. This is where we went wrong, and why wait? Why we couldn't talk about it then?
Okay, so what you think, Mark?
See,
I think this might switch on. This might be also a gender difference and gap as well here, that where we don't disconnect, where we don't see. What you think, Mark?
right. Nah, I mean, I see both sides, but to me, closure is almost like the wishing of something didn't go the way it went. You feel me? That's always how I view closure. It's like, dang, if you just did this instead of this, we still be together type of thing. I feel like it allows for that type of conversation. And while I don't like to do it. I've only done it once, and then it only just made me want the person that I just broke up with. So I just don't.
See, that's
Yeah,
it. It's never made me want to go back. It's never ever
And
made me
see,
want to
I
go back.
think, but this is the thing. That's what's so crazy, because I feel where you're coming from, G, because closure's usually pushed from women. Like that's usually a side that's enforced for women. So I think that we really did identify like a disconnect between women and men on that note, because men were like, I can't do that closure shit. Like if
And I respect
we're
that.
done, we're done. But us men also have been demonized for not giving closure. Because sometimes women be like, you're a dog, nigga, for how you just walked out. You didn't just da-da-da. But for some men, it's like, nah, because if I give you that piece, it's going to be something. But we going to go ahead and close it here. I want to shout out to everybody who tapped in. Look, every show is getting better and better. I'm going to give us another quick rundown. You know what I'm saying? Tell y'all who's left. If you watch this on my page, that's hella dope. That's super, super dope. But go ahead. As soon as this is over, like immediately after you close this out, head over to the Make a Chess Move and Make a Culture Move. Go follow that on Facebook. Make sure you go follow the Macam 303 on YouTube as well. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out also once again on our website. And if you like East End Visions apparel, you can check out what we got left. We almost all sold out of this most recent order. So hurry to get your stuff and head over to eastendvisions.com. Once again, I'm E Huff. That's G. That's Mark. Tapping with them Friday at 1 p.m. Correct?
Yes,
at
sir.
the Make a Culture Move page. Once again, let me pop that up for y'all one more time. Head over to Make a Culture Move page if you like this content and was feeling it. They go be delivering it again on Friday. Come tap back in again with me next Wednesday, and we'll have another great topic for y'all. Much love. Appreciate y'all. See y'all next time.
Y'all
Appreciate you, G. Y'all
Malcolm.
Malcolm out there.